Tiger Transfer LLC owns and operates the Upton Logistics Center, a premier transload facility which is designated by the BNSF Railroad. For our overall view, we will refer to the Upton Logistics Center as the Park. Looking west from the access to the double-track main line, we can see the loop that services our customers. There are roughly 40,000 feet of private track, municipal water and sewer, fiber optics, plenty of three-phase power, natural gas access, highway access, and access to an unpaved airport. There are lots available for businesses to locate near Highway 16. The flight path of our first segment is from the office to the west switch, down the loop and past the center mainline switch. We can also see how the footprint of the park lays next to the town of Upton. As we take off from Tiger's office and head west, one can see the Upton Municipal Water Tank, which is looped into the town's other water tanks and system and provides fire protection for the customers in the park. We will stop above the west mainline switch, which is one of the three mainline switches into the park that Tiger enjoys. Notice a view of the beautiful Black Hills as we pan back to the east. Now we will travel east on the loop track that feeds the tenants in the park. The loop supplies access to several tenants in the park, and you can see the switches serving them. You will notice the first switch to the left is our north warehouse track, which supplies the warehouse that ends with an earthen dock, at which heavy machinery can be unloaded from rail or loaded onto rail at that point. Tiger also has an 80-foot truck scale next to the warehouse. The second switch to the left is our south warehouse bypass track, which parallels our loop and ties back in with the switch on the east end. You can see Tiger's switching crew switching cars below with a 7-day-per-week service if needed. As we approach the center mainline switch on the left, which allows the second access point to the dual main lines, one can see the bypass track tying back into the loop. The loop ties into, from left to right, the Upton siding, A, B, and C tracks, a space, and D and E tracks. Transloading can be accomplished along the C track and also along the E track. There are at least 45 feet of transloading surface along those tracks to allow room for a transload vehicle, a loading truck, and still have room to allow traffic to pass. There are several miles of all-season roads and surfaces in the park to do work and get product in and out by truck. One important note is that all of our lengthy tracks have switches on both ends, which makes switching much more efficient. Next, our flight plan will take us to the east switch, turn and come back to this point. This journey will give some perspective of the length of 8,800 feet of track from the center mainline switch to the east mainline switch. This track allows enough room to pull in a unit train of coal cars and park between the east mainline switch and about the bridge, and still leave Tiger room to service the rest of the customers in the park. Tiger can also build a unit train, and BNSF can bring a unit train, drop it, and pick up the ready cars and leave with the same crew and power. As we reach the east mainline switch and turn our focus back to the west, one can see the water tower in the background. It is 14,500 feet back to the west switch. Roughly 3 miles between switches gives Tiger Transfer and BNSF endless opportunities that are not available to be enjoyed by many locations on such a busy thoroughfare. For our third leg of the journey, we will take a swing out to the south, not over the total 350 acres, but just to show that Tiger has a lot of room for expansion. A double circle unit train facility can presently be inserted into this area if needed, and has already been engineered and the design approved by BNSF. One can see the 69 kVA power line that presently serves the park. The Buffalo Creek 20A County Road leads to the east, which passes the airport, ties into Highway 116 south, and also the overpass going north to Highway 16. As we swing back to the main track, you can see an empty unit train returning to the Powder River Basin for another load of coal. One of Tiger's main benefits to the BNSF is its ability to drop other than coal freight to Tiger. Let us handle those and keep the velocity of unit trains high. All of the rail within the park is at least 132-pound rail, and the design and construction have been approved by BNSF for mainline power to operate within the facility. Here comes another coal train going to reload and keep America's lights on. Now is a good look from the east end back to what we refer to as our Phase 2 track. From right to left is Mainline, Upton Siding, A, B, C, D, and E tracks. As we cruise back to the office, there are lots available for businesses to locate along Highway 16. All of the direct access to the BNSF mainline is from the south side, but there is plenty of room for secondary rail operations on the north side. Notice another loaded train heading to the power plant. Thank you for taking the tour of Tiger Transfer LLC in Upton, Wyoming.